Well, hello, DCO Nation. Welcome to DCO Live. We're breaking down everything saltwater inshore kayak fishing, from seasonal patterns, tactics, and techniques to help you hook up on more fish. This show airs every Thursday night at 8 p.m. on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram Live. So drop your questions in the chat, and here we go. Well, hello, DCO Nation, and welcome back to another DCO Live. It is Thursday night. It looks like we got Heath and Tony in here. Guys, I appreciate you all jumping on tonight. Let me see if I can't get this microphone down out of the camera here a little bit. Such a rookie move. So tonight is going to be a little bit of a different show. So stick around towards the end for some news that I'm going to share with everybody. But who just jumped on here? Jake, good to see you. Everett's on. Great to see you, Everett. Guys, I'm still fighting a little bit of a cough. Again, I feel great. I had the crud a couple of weeks ago, but for some reason this cough is still just hanging on. I don't know what is going on, but I've got a cough drop. I've got a little bit of a bourbon cream here with me. So hopefully between those two, it'll kind of keep it under control tonight. But, I want to start off the show again with just kind of touching on some of the events that are coming up. Like I said, I want to keep kind of touching on these. So Saturday, March the 7th is the Saltwater Kayak Series tournament that is going to take place. Basically, the boundary for this tournament is the entire coastline of South Carolina. You can jump on the Fishing Chaos app and it'll go through all of the rules, everything that you need to know. Now, here's the thing. The tournament is Saturday. The captain's meeting and the board check-in is tomorrow night, starting at 5:30 down at the Crush Yard in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. So you have to be present for that. So really, if you want to get into this tournament, I would get signed up today, tomorrow. I'm positive that tomorrow is going to be the last day to sign up for this tournament. It is a slam tournament. So the inshore slam, you got to catch a redfish, a flounder, and a trout. And then there is, let me see, lines are in, I think at 6 a.m. Lines are out at 3. And then there is what they're calling a check-in or a weigh-in back at the Crush Yard again Saturday. And you've got to be there before, I want to say you got to be there before 3:59 p.m. So yes, you can fish the entire coastline of South Carolina, but you have to be at the Crush Yard by 4 o'clock, okay, for that weigh-in. So that is really the only thing. So you have to cut your time down on the water to make sure that you're back in here. So if you are going to fish Murrells Inlet up here at in Myrtle Beach, you've got to make sure that you take that 2 hours and 15 minutes, whatever that drive time is to get to Mount Pleasant. You've got to get off the water by 2 o'clock, 1:30, and make your drive because you have to be at the Crush Yard by 4 o'clock, that 3:59 check-in time. So make sure that you keep that in mind. But that is going to be a great tournament. And then next is this Saturday. It is also the first event for the Redfish series for the Low Country kayak anglers. So that tournament is the launch area is Paradise Landing on the Wando River. And I want to say there may be about 13 or 14 guys in that tournament right now. So again, if you guys want to get signed up for that tournament, I would do that today, tomorrow. make sure that you get signed up, and you can fish both tournaments at the same time. So if you want to do the saltwater series and fish the Low Country Kayak Anglers tournament, the only caveat is you have to launch from Paradise. So you cannot fish the LKA tournament up in Murrells Inlet. You have to launch and fish the Wando River from Paradise Landing. Sorry, I had a little brain fart there. But yeah, it's 2 tournaments, same day. So jump on Fishing Chaos, check out all the rules, and do all that kind of stuff. Okay. Second, March 15th, we have the Turn the Tide event that benefits Release Over 20. So guys, they are selling tickets for that. It is next Sunday. It's not this coming Sunday. It's March 15th. And so go to releaseover20.org. Up at the top of the webpage, you'll see a tab that says Turn the Tide. You can get your tickets there. I want to say that they're holding those tickets only to about 150 people. So make sure that you plan on getting there. It is in Awendaw, which is a little bit north of Charleston. It's on a great property. I have been there one time, and it's a fantastic property. The gentleman who owns it is on the board, and he is been gracious enough to open up his property to have this and host this tournament. So guys, support Release Over 20. They are doing great things. You guys all know about Release Over 20. So, if you can't make it to the Turn the Tide event, then, you can go to releaseover20.org and make a donation. So check them out, support them. What a great, great organization. And then in April 25th is the 23rd annual Flounder event that the Grand Strand Saltwater Anglers is putting on. And this is going to be the first year that they have a kayak division. So guys, if you're a kayak fisherman and you want to jump into this tournament, you can. Again, it is on Fishing Chaos, and it is up and live on Fishing Chaos. So if you go over there, you can actually sign up for the tournament. You can read the rules and get ready to go for the Flounder tournament on April 25th. So guys, I'm going to be hitting that one, and pushing that one on social media quite a bit. I was fortunate enough to help out putting together, the rules and whatnot for the Flounder division. Heath Watford was also involved with that. Heath, I know you're on tonight. And there are a couple other people too, which I'm sorry, I do not know your names, but we've been emailing back and forth and went to a couple of meetings to talk about the Flounder tournament and the kayak division. So that is set. It is ready to go. Check out everything. There is going to be a captain's meeting the Friday before, and I think it's at the Beaver Bar. And there is a board check, and you get I think there's an identifier card, but you have to go to that captain's meeting at the Beaver Bar Friday, the 24th, to get checked in for that tournament. So guys, that is it for all of the events that I have right now. I'm sure there's probably some bass stuff that, I don't follow as closely. But if you guys are in those kayak events, Heroes on the Water, I think, is having an event coming up. He throw that up into the comments so that I can at least tell everybody about the Heroes on the Water event that you guys have got coming up. It's again, I think it's at Lake Marion. But again, I should have had that up here. I will post that up on all of my social medias also. March 28th. Thank you, Heath. I appreciate that. Yeah, so March 28th is going to be the next Heroes on the Water event. Taylor's Landing. Okay, cool, nice. Appreciate it. Thanks, buddy. So guys, tonight I just wanted to kind of talk about a couple of things. One, I am going to be fishing the saltwater event. Jake just threw something up here into the comments and said, I also learned this week that we have a mutual friend. Is that Captain Rayburn, who helps with FCA fishing and salt? He's an awesome guy. Yeah, absolutely. I had him on, gosh, last year, I think in the fall. I had Captain Rayburn on, and so yeah, man, great guy. I need to have him back on again, especially as the weather is starting to improve. Spring, I think, has sprung, guys. We got to keep our fingers crossed for that. And yeah, he should be having some tournaments going out now, and salt is starting to kick off. So yeah, absolutely. I need to probably throw that up into the events also. But yeah, so this weekend I am going to be fishing in the saltwater series, the saltwater kayak series. I'm not going to fish the LKA series this time, just because there is an area in Charleston that I want to fish. I don't want to fish out of Paradise. One, because I knew that there was going to be a tournament there. There's going to be a ton of guys launching from there. So I wanted to fish another area. So I'm actually going down tomorrow to pre-fish, look around. There is an area that I have never fished before. I want to put my eyeballs on it. It looks really good. Of course, everything on Google Maps looks really good, and then you got to go out and find the fish. So I want to talk a little bit about tournament prep. And then there was a gentleman who messaged me on the Facebook Messenger, Ronnie Medlin messaged and said, how do I lay out my kayak as far as the equipment goes, like my net and tackle and all that kind of stuff for the ease of use while fishing. So I thought maybe I would just kind of touch on that, as I just kind of touched a little bit on the tournament prep. I'm not going to spend too much time on it because one, I don't want to really give out a whole lot of what I'm doing. And I'm not going to talk about where I'm going. But I did want to, just talk about the tournament prep and the weekend. The weekend's weather looks really, really good. So I wanted to pull up, let me see here. Let me get this pulled onto the screen here, guys. Let me remove that, get this pulled up onto the screen. So you guys know this is the Outdoor Radio Network mobile app. This is where you can catch all the shows. You can see right down here. Let me see if I can get my cursor down here. So right down here is the home screen. You can see that right now the Inside the Great Outdoors is playing. It's with Mr. Joe Castaway Coolis, the legend. I finally got to meet him. We had all of the Outdoor Radio Network host. We met on a Zoom call earlier this week. And so I finally got to meet Mr. Coolis, and he is just a super, super nice guy. His studio has all of his mounts of everything that he is, bagged over his career, from a rhinoceros, an elephant, polar bears, Kodiak bears. I mean, it is just a phenomenal workspace that he has and studio. And the guy is just a legend and super cool to talk to. So, but anyway, that is not the reason why I brought this up. There is a new tab that I am using on the mobile app that picked up maybe about a week ago, and I should have had Captain Bob on to really talk about this, but it's right down here, and it says Coastal, and this is the tides chart. So you can see right here, right down here, this is the spring made tide chart right here. If you go to change station, hopefully you guys can see my cursor. You can come down here and it's got all of the tide charts. So let's take a look at Austin Creek right there in Merle's Inlet. So Austin Creek, it shows you again, we're almost at the top of the tide, and you may look and see this little gold bar right here, or right here on the left-hand side, there's a little green bar. Well, right over here, that is the majors and the minors and how they associate with the tide. So actually, we're coming up on the second minor of the night. Starts at 8:30. Well, we're almost into it. 8:30 to 9:30. Um, and that is where we're at. And you can see as I kind of scroll on through this at 2 a.m., right here is a major. And as I get into the morning, right here, you can see the first minor hits right here and here. So, guys, what a great tool that they added. It was really, really nice to see this being put onto the mobile app. So if you guys are not on that mobile app, go to the outdoorradionetwork.com/mobile, download it. It's all free. And, and just another great, great tool. So if we go back over here to the weather app, so this is the one that I love to hit. So this is the Windy app. You guys know that I love the Windy app right now. It shows everything. And as I kind of scroll in, I can get way down here into Mount Pleasant. So let's just check out Mount Pleasant for the weekend. So right in here, you can see we're talking mid 60s. Look at these winds down here. Let me change it to miles per hour and get it off of the knots. I mean, we're talking it right in the morning, 3, 6, 9 miles an hour. I mean, that is going to be awesome on Saturday. Maybe a very small chance of rain. Sunday, again, beautiful day, 10 miles an hour max. You may get some gusts to 15, but what a beautiful weekend it's going to be, to get out onto the water. And with these temperatures right now, especially down in Charleston, because I have been tracking the weather for basically the last 10 days. And as you see my cursor down here, you can see the lows are in the 60s and the highs are almost touching 70 right now. So that water temperature is really going to start to come up. And I think this is going to be kind of the start of our spring. Yeah, we're probably going to get some more cold weather kind of coming in, but you're going to see these fish really start to crack and fire off. So I am really excited about how the weekend is going to um, be shaping up right now, because really all this week down in Charleston, the weather has been absolutely beautiful. So the water temperatures should be great. Up here into McClellanville, you can see where they're at. I mean, look at Saturday, almost the same 3, 4, 5. Sunday, 10 miles an hour. I mean, it's going to be an absolutely beautiful weekend. So, guys, if you're not using the mobile app and checking out, the weather app and now the coastal app, guys, it is just absolutely phenomenal. The Outdoor Radio Network is really trying to put this mobile app together for guys in the outdoors. So again, it's all free. Go over to the outdoorradionetwork.com/mobile, download it, and and use these tools. I absolutely love them. So let's kind of get back to the tournament prep here a little bit. So right back here in a second, guys. What am I doing? There we go. All right. So yeah, it always takes me a couple of seconds. Some things always get in the way. I'm closing windows, opening windows. Man, I tell you what, it's craziness. But so the lures I'm going to be using this weekend, really, I'm going to be throwing almost everything. Um, I'm going to be starting out with some smaller profile stuff, the TRDs, the slim swims. I do have the thick trick tied on, which is like a 375 or maybe even a 4 inch, a straight tail. Do I have one over here? I do not. It's already packed up in my bag. You guys know what the thick trick looks like. Um, I'm doing some 3 inch minnows in all kinds of colors, everything from the purple deaths to all the natural colors, the pearls, the beer runs. The biggest thing that is really I'm going to be switching up a lot is the weights of the jig heads. So everything is going to be based on how swift the current is going to be on Saturday. I'm going to get a really good idea tomorrow while I'm down in this area. And so, the heaviest I'm going to go is a quarter of an ounce. I do have some 3/8 ounce football jigs that I may throw on like a TRD ticklers on, or a straight TRD or something along those lines to get down onto the bottom. If some of these areas, if the water is really swift. The area that I am going to be fishing, I can tell you that there are going to be some docks in an area, and then about a 45-minute pedal away, there is going to be some creeks and flats. So my game plan right now is in the morning. The tide is going to be coming in. I want to say high tide may be 10 or 10:30. I can't remember exactly when it is, but I think I'm going to hit the docks early in the morning as the tide is starting to flood in. And then at that high tide, slack tide time is when I'm going to make my run to the flats and then fish those flats as the water is starting to drop out. So that is going to be my plan. I want to fish those flats for maybe about 3 hours, because really that's going to put me at about that 2 to 2:30 time frame, and it's going to take me at least 40 minutes to get back to the landing, get packed up, and so that I can get to the crush yard for the weigh-in by 3:59 p.m. So, the timing is really going to come down to, one, I know I'm going to have to fight the current coming back to the landing, but it shouldn't be too awful bad. So that's kind of what I'm looking at. So everything from 3/8 of an ounce is going to be my heaviest, and my lightest that I have tied on right now is a 1/10 ounce, and I've got a 1/10 ounce Ned head on a TRD in the deal color. So I'm going to start out kind of there, work my way up. I've got the thick trick tied on, and so yeah, that's going to kind of just be my game plan. Run and gun, try to find these fish. I think the fish that is going to be the wild card is going to be the flounder. So redfish and trout right now, we should be able to pick those up really with no problem. They're feeding pretty heavily right now. The cooler water temperatures isn't going to be a problem. But as you guys know, the flounder really don't start moving in from um, out in the ocean where they were spawning all winter. They really don't start to move into these creeks until really, the back end of March, beginning of April, when these water temperatures start to hit around those upper 60s and 70-degree, water temperatures. So, if somebody can catch a flounder, and so to submit your flounder, it's got to be 16 inches. Um, I did fail to mention about the tournament. It is a slam tournament, but to the minimum sizes are the minimum state limits. So a redfish has to be a minimum of 50 inches, no bigger than 31.75. Okay. A flounder, minimum 16 inches, and then trout is 14 inches. So it's got to be, those minimums to submit for the tournament. So it's not like you can catch these little bitty males that are only going to be 14-inch long flounder to submit. Okay. So it's got to be a 16-inch. And I think that's going to be the wild card that, is going to put somebody over the top, because I just don't think these bigger flounder, I think they're going to be harder to find. If people are going to be fishing, around some inlets, anything that's really close connected to the ocean, I think you may be able to find some flounder, but I don't think you're going to find these big flounder back up into these creeks. I could be wrong. There may be some oddball flounder, in there, feeding and working around some areas, which I'm sure there is. I remember catching some bigger flounder last spring, kind of early. So, it's not unheard of. It's just that I think we're going to have to work for them. So, that's going to be the wild card. If I can pick up really a trout and a flounder pretty quickly, a trout and a redfish pretty quickly, then the longer that I can go hunt and peck for a flounder, I think is going to be the key. So, best case scenario is, man, you pick up a flounder right off the bat, and then you are off and running. So, guys, that's really my tournament prep. And again, I'm not going to talk too much about it because, again, I don't want to give a whole lot away. So the last thing that I want to talk about tonight is really a little bit of, I want to call it bad news. So when I first started DCO Live, I had this caveat that basically said that as long as, I'm putting out a good show week in and week out, and it's not getting too much for me, then I'm going to continue to do this. Well, it is really starting to, it's a lot. Having a weekly radio show and a weekly live show, and then getting out and fishing and doing fishing videos. It's a lot right now. So unfortunately, this is going to be the last DCO Live. I probably won't do away with them completely. Maybe a handful of times a year, I'll probably, have a live show, which I will, post on the social medias and say, hey, listen, there's going to be a live show. But guys, this is going to be the last DCO Live, weekly live show. It's just really becoming too much. And I feel like I just can't do it. I just can't do it. Things are really starting to take over. The outdoor radio network is really growing. So my live show and the radio show are really going to become one. So everything is going to be the radio show now. They are posted on YouTube and Spotify, so it's not like you're going to be missing a whole lot. But I'm really going to dive in all of my efforts into the radio show. I really do enjoy doing that. It's a new venture. And like I said, it is growing. There's a lot of good things that, are going to be posted, and some really good things coming down the pipe. I can't say a whole lot about it, but, we are worldwide, and it is absolutely fantastic. So guys, sorry, but the live is going to go away again. Every once in a while I will have a live show, but I think it's going to be, the live shows are going to be really special events. like the captains along the coast that I had back in the fall, where I have, 3, 4, 5 South Carolina captains all up and down the coast and have a question and answer. So I'm thinking about having the lives more like that. So, but those will be posted. You guys will know about them. But that is the news, guys. So sorry, but yeah, something had to give, and so it has to be the live show. But there some fishing videos are coming. I'm going to be getting out on the water a lot more. I'm going to be putting more of a priority on being on the water, and so that's all going to be a good thing. But he said that, hang on, I'm going to pop this one up. He said, it was bound to happen, but the radio show is awesome. So the community will just grow more. Yeah. So that's, that's kind of what I'm hoping for. But, you guys are awesome. And you guys know how to get a hold of me. If you guys ever want to chat, hit me up on the messenger on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. I love chatting with you guys. So I really do appreciate each and every one of you. And really, guys, again, I will see you when I see you. There is no live next week. So it's a little bit odd, but guys, again, I really do appreciate all of you guys jumping on week in and week out. We are growing a really great community, and we are going to continue to grow. So, guys, thanks so much. Remember, conservation starts with you. Release a fish for someone else to enjoy. And this has been DCO Live for the last time, sort of. All right, guys, thanks so much. We'll talk to you all soon.